Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's McCreepers, and welcome back to another video. And today, as you can see, we're doing the Update 5 tier list. So, let's just get right into it. For Toji, I'm going to put him in support. And my kind of reasoning for that is, I'm just going to say, like, once a unit falls into B tier and they still have, like, very good support ability, for example, Toji, obviously, he has a good, he's good for shield breaks, so yeah. Rengoku, Purgatory Flames is really good with Choi. Yuha is S tier for now. I'll get into it a little bit later. Julia's support. Yamamoto, I think I'm going to put him bottom of S tier. Then Aizen is going to be slightly above Yuha. Haruka, support. I'm not explaining. Okay, damage buff and then SBA buff pretty much. As def, I'm gonna say probably bottom of S tier. Saber Alter, huh? I'm unsure. I'm gonna keep her top of A for now, as well as, well, I think we'll do this. Because thing is, Ragnar's pretty, I'll do bottom of S tier. Ragnar's still very good, in the new game mode especially. Gojo, I guess the thing that needs to be considered with Gojo is that he has, while his damage isn't like super great, it's definitely more viable compared to a lot of the older units. Not to mention, he's full AoE, he has a time stop, he's immune to all ailments, he's immune to energy drain for some reason. So for me, he's S tier. Alucard support. Next up we have Agarus, B tier, falling off. Gazelle support. Kisuke support. Uryu actually is pretty good right now. For the new stages, Uryu is really good. If you didn't know, pretty much he gets buffed every single time he would be hit with a debuff. So he's really good against energy drain because instead of decreasing his damage, it increases his damage. Ichigo, I'm a little conflicted on because I feel like some people will probably have him S tier. I personally don't use Ichigo that much as a problem. But for now, I'll put him bottom of S tier because I know he is still very good. I think what I'm gonna do actually is this. I'll do that, but I might move him down later. Orihime is support. Kenpachi is an alright DPS. He isn't. At the end of the day, he's really nothing special. Ishtar is support. Lily, I'm gonna put at top of B tier. She's still really good overall. I wouldn't say really good, but she's decent. Lancer, I'm gonna put slightly higher than Kenpachi just because I think Rupture has a little bit more value than Slow, unfortunately. Archer, his damage potential is pretty high. That being said, it's not. I just don't think you use him over really anybody above him here. Saber is still, I would say, I think Ichigo and Saber here are kind of interchangeable. You can kind of put them wherever you want. I think I'll probably put Esdef here. But yeah, I think Saber and Ichigo are pretty interchangeable because you bring them pretty much for the same reason. Yoriichi is a decent DPS unit. Like, she does stun. There's not a whole specialist there. Medea, it has Nullify. She's a support at this point. Gyro, or no, is that Gyro? Yeah. Gyro, I will say, is he's an alright DPS. Same thing can be said with Johnny. Choso is still, I would say, the best bleed in the game. That being said, it doesn't really say much. Unfortunately, I think Medusa, I'll put her in B tier because her ability is okay, and she does have bleed. She's probably the second best bleed option. Akaza is just ass. Shaheen is not great, but isn't terrible. Jogo is pretty bad. Todo is a support. Sasuke is a support. And then Tengen, I will say he's probably slightly better than Icarus. because he's full AoE, blast, does more damage to the same enemy over time. So he's an alright pick. Toby, I'm gonna put him in C tier. He's just not that great. I didn't realize I put normal Sunshine on there. If I had to put normal Sunshine, I'm gonna say like I'll put him in like B tier because his ability is still pretty good for like infants, but like I'm not. It's not great. For me, Vegeta's still the best like starter character in the game, and I think that alone gives him top of B since he's so useful. Like for new players, none of these characters are probably going to be better than Vegeta, and you're probably really not using any of these characters later into the game either. So that's kind of how I feel. Justifying the spot. Virgil, huh? So Virgil is a very good DPS unit. I'm kind of conflicted with where to put him because it's kind of hard to reach his full damage potential because you're not always going to have a slower stun unit or a stun or time stop unit or freeze. But it is up there, I would say. So I'm going to put him, his damage is definitely really high, especially if you're running Monarch or Deadeye, it can be pretty solid. And then next up we have Naruto, he's ass. Next up we have is Dante. Dante is kind of like unfair. He can crit forever, and he has a insane base damage stat over like around like 50k, like 56,000, and it's full AoE, which to me is better than Yua and Yamamoto. I don't think he's better than Aizen though. Crocodile support. Did not realize Boo was on here twice. That's interesting. Boo, huh? Well, I'm honestly gonna say Boo is. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. Boo is a weird character because he's kind of hard to use properly. I feel like it's really you either pretty much are committing to Buhan or just going straight into Kid Buu with them is a problem. So it's really hard for me to say. I would say this is probably fine for him because he's not like I feel like he isn't the best at like anything in particular other than maybe killing bosses. I would say he's maybe the best boss killer. And then Goku slash Vegito, I think I'm gonna have I'm not I'm honestly pretty content with doing that. So my reasoning for this is that they are pretty much immune to status ailments because every single time they switch, they pretty much cleanse themselves, including of damage drain. They have a full AoE stun and a full AoE slow that you get relatively often. You have a nuke, and then obviously you can fuse into Vegito towards the end if you want a boss killer, because he's going to be doing a plus 100% damage for the first 40 seconds when you fuse into him. So to me, he's kind of an all-around unit, and the thing you have to remember too about Goku in particular is that he's only 60k to max, so it's pretty easy to unlock both either your nuke or Vegito, and you can still level or upgrade your Vegito too afterwards. But all around, they're like a very good. They're both a very solid damage option as well as a very good support, which I can't say the same thing for everything. I would say Boo. I think what I want to do is this. Boo does a lot of damage as well, while also being a very good support, because Boo's damage can get very high. I do think Goku has a slight edge over him. Now, I was looking at this, I think, yeah, Aizen's slightly under. I'm not sure if I want to put Aizen here. The thing is, I haven't personally used Dante yet, so I can't really tell you. I'm just going based off of the showcases I've seen, and to me, I feel like he's still going to have a little less play than Aizen, in my opinion. Hercule and Boo are support unit. They're really good, especially for a support unit for Dragon Ball units, because he gives a plus 30% crit damage and plus 20 damage to Dragon Ball units. Then next up we have Gohan, who it's a weird character because like I don't feel like he's bad, but I don't feel like he's necessarily good either. Um, he can attack twice with whenever he crits. Uh, I think his biggest drawback. I think the nicest thing about him is that you can hypothetically have him down wave one, which but I don't know. You know what? I'm looking at this. I'll put him. I'll put him above Ragna. I think Ragna can be an A tier. You know what? Yeah, I'm sorry. No one uses Ragna anymore. Lucy support. Diavolo is going to be an interesting placement. I would say he's probably here, honestly. Very well. The biggest flaw with Diavolo is his last attack being such a bad AoE, which is something you need to consider. If it was like better, then I wouldn't have a problem with putting him here or like even here maybe. But that AoE like definitely hinders him by quite a bit, unfortunately. Kareem is a solid DPS option. I wouldn't say he's good, but he does Frostburn, which is solid. Fubuki support, Amelia support, Gogeta, huh? I'm gonna say here. Because without Monarch, Gogeta isn't usable. Versus these two are very much usable without Monarch. You can even make the argument for like this, or if you even want to, like I would say this. But the thing is Gogeta with Monarch becomes like the best unit in the game, arguably. Rem and Rum are like still the best economy unit in the game, but I still don't think they're getting a hell of a lot of play these days. But I mean, they're a decent econ unit if you need it, so they're there. Then we have Sorcery, who is, I would say, the best burn we have right now. Um, but he's still nothing special, I would say. And honestly, I'm gonna move you down. Jogo is pretty bad. Then we have Sorcery. He's, I would say, or Daedra, sorry. I would say he's alright, honestly. I feel like he's a little bit more usable than these two, just because he has a pretty good ability, but it's still not saying much. Oh my god, guys, I almost forgot. Forgive me. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dio support. Sorry, his damage is ass. I wouldn't put in terms of damage, he would be in B tier. And like I said, with the support rule, if they want their like, I believe they're in B tier. I'm just putting them in support. Um, if they have a support ability, that is. Gilgamesh is interesting. I want to say Gilgamesh is top of A tier. And the only reason why I say that is because he has his third passive is very strong, being able to auto execute any enemy under 10% HP is very good. Alrighty. As I was wrapping this up, I forgot to. Oh, there he is. I forgot I didn't have Vanguard Sunjin Woo. I do believe Vanguard Sunjin Woo is still the best unit in the game. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I shouldn't have to explain much regarding him. And then obviously we have 4 units I forgot here. I'll run through them real quickly. David, he's an okay DPS option. I would say he's probably better than Kareem, but he's still not great. Choi, huh? Outside of Infinite, I feel like Choi doesn't see a whole lot of play, unfortunately, which is going to be kind of hindering him a little bit. That being said, I think I'll have him over Kampachi. Like I said, I feel like outside of, like I said, Infinite, he doesn't have a hell of a lot of play. And then next up we have is Freerin, huh? Oh, Freerin is just kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, her damage is solid, but other than that, she's pretty trash. And then, last but not least, we got Sukuna, Well, I'd say it's better than David and Korean. He has a little bit of support with his bleed amp. But yeah. Real quickly, as I was kind of looking at, oh my god, this is getting long, dude. Holy shit. Uh, as I was looking over some of the stuff, I did make a few changes. I moved Yamamoto down here. My main reason for this is that he just got heavily overshadowed by when Sun Jin Woo got released. I feel like you won't see him as much as you used to. And I feel like the units above him you're more likely to see nowadays. And then a notable one is I moved Gojo to the bottom of A tier because while I still think he's very good, I do admit he is pretty situational compared to a lot of the units above him that I feel like you'll probably see a little bit more often. And I think that's the only real. Oh, Ragna. I moved Ragna down here because while yes, his damage potential is higher, I feel like you will see probably all of these units. Like every unit above him, I feel like you're gonna see more often than him. People really only use Ragna in portals or the new event or new game mode, which is why I feel like he's just not really better than any of these guys right now, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm pretty content with this list. Let me know if you have, if you disagree about anything. I'll feel free to explain more whether or not maybe I agree with you. But yeah, like I said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.